it's me, Janara, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, especially if you love makeup, because today we are gonna play around with makeup and I am doing a full face using e.l.f. Cosmetics. So I have a box filled with e.l.f. Cosmetics here, and some of these are new releases from e.l.f. Cosmetics and some of them are just new to me. So let's get started. So first, let's prep and prime this face, and I'll be using the Hello Hydration face cream, of course by e.l.f. because I'm using a full face of e.l.f. Cosmetics, and I've been using this cream for a week now and I've been loving it. My skin have been loving it. It does have a sweet subtle scent and it is a thick cream, and I usually just apply it all over my face. It has hyaluronic acid which locks in moisture. It has peptide complex for collagen. It has niacinamide for brightening. It has all these wonderful ingredients which made me buy and try this cream, and I've been loving it. It is a very thick cream, but it is not sticky and it does sink into my skin really well, and it's also good under makeup. And then just to prep my lips as well, I've got this e.l.f. lip exfoliator. This is grapefruit. So this looks like a lipstick or a lip balm when you apply it to your lips. It has this little like sugary texture and it will exfoliate your lips, and I always do this to prep my lips. This does taste really nice, especially if you love grapefruit. Wipe it with a cotton pad. I'll just pop on some lip balm. I don't have e.l.f. lip balm. I'm just using my EOS lip balm right now, just to moisturize my lips. And now let's prime the face. So for primer, I'll be using a new primer. I really wanted to try this one. This is the e.l.f. Aqua Beauty Primer Mist. It's a clear aqua primer mist. It says here, this water-based primer mist preps skin for smooth makeup application and a radiant look. It is enriched with purified water, cucumber, and vitamins B and E. It leaves skin looking dewy and fresh. I did drench my face with that. It has a very harsh mist. I can feel it. It's really harsh and it doesn't smell anything. I feel like it's just water. So I'm not really sure if this will help hold my makeup and help last the day, but yeah, it is very refreshing. So with the foundation, I have 3 foundations right here. So the first one is this one. I'm not really sure what this foundation is. It doesn't say. The only thing with the e.l.f. packaging, I know it is very minimalist, but as you can see, it just says e.l.f., nothing else. I don't even know the shade. I don't even know what kind of foundation is this, but I've tried it just now and it is a matte foundation. I'm not really into matte skin at present, so I'm not gonna use this. And I've got the e.l.f. As you can see, it doesn't say as well, but I know this is the Flawless Finish. It is oil-free, it has SPF 15 sunscreen, and it is in the shade Porcelain, so it is really light for my skin tone. I think they've repackaged this. I'm not really sure, but I've been seeing this on the website with a different packaging, but I know this is the Flawless Finish. Flawless something. But yep, I will not be using this because it is very light. And then I'll be using this one. This is the e.l.f. I don't know. This is the e.l.f. Acne Fighting Foundation. So it looks like this. This is in a shade Buff. They're both in the shade Buff, and it has salicylic acid for acne treatment. So I've been using this and I've been loving it, especially with my acne, and I think this is what I'll be using today because this is what my skin needs at the moment. As you can see, I have been breaking out again. And it says here, this lightweight foundation helps disguise redness, blemishes, and uneven skin tone. It is infused with acne-fighting key ingredients, the salicylic acid, witch hazel, camphor, tea tree, and soothing aloe. So it doesn't say in the packaging what finish or coverage this will be, but I'm not really sure. I can't remember now, but I know that I've used this for months and months because of my acne blemishes, and I think it does its job. So let's try it again. So it is a plastic packaging and it comes in like a squeezy nozzle like this, and yeah, this is very perfect for traveling, so I love it. And then to apply this, I'll be using e.l.f. powder brush, but it is a flat kind of brush, so this would be perfect for buffing around the skin. And then I'll be using this new sponge. This is the e.l.f. Total Face Sponge. You can use this wet or dry, so it looks like this in the packaging. It did swell up when I've wet the sponge. As you can see, the shape of this sponge looks very similar with the Real Techniques one, but this is very porous, like the Real Beauty Blender. So now that my skin is prepped, that primer water is already dry, I think I love it. It feels dry, but my skin looks glowy and healthy, so that's a good one. That's a good one. So let us now apply the foundation. I don't really remember how much I will need. So here's the first layer of the foundation. I don't really like it with the brush because it does leave a brush strokes. It has medium coverage. It did cover up some of my blemishes, but not the big ones. So I will be applying a second layer in a bit. And then the finish, I love the finish. It's not matte and it's not dewy. It is just glowy. I'm not really sure if that's the primer or it's the foundation, but it does looks, my skin looks so healthy. So I'm loving it, and this is the perfect shade for me. I will just be applying another layer to build up the coverage, and be using the flat side of the sponge, applying it where I need more coverage, which is on the cheek area. So here's the second layer. The coverage is definitely buildable to like a medium, high medium coverage, but not full coverage because I can still see my blemishes on this side of my face and a little bit on this side of my face as well. But the finish, I really love the finish. It looks healthy and just glowy, not dewy, but not matte and not oily as well. So now this reminds me why I have loved this foundation for a long time. So the next product, I am really excited because I will be trying out the new e.l.f. Cosmetics 16-Hour Camo Concealer. I've been seeing this all over the internet. I've been hearing all about it, and they are saying that this is a really good dupe for the Tarte Shape Tape. We all know Tarte Shape Tape did set a very high standard when it comes to concealer, and a lot of YouTubers have been saying that this is a really good dupe for the Tarte Shape Tape. So I'm now trying it out, and I've got the shade Medium Sand. Both are medium sand. I really don't know why I did get two medium sand, but yep, this is full coverage, matte, and it says here, camouflage those pesky spots and under eye circles with the high coverage, crease resistant 16-hour wear concealer. Directions: use the wand to apply concealer to desired areas, pat out gently with your finger or a sponge for a smooth blend. So they didn't say that we can use a brush. Well, I usually use sponge, so that's alright. I believe that this concealer has got 18 shades. It was really hard for me to choose the shade because the medium shade are not really good selection, and I think that this shade is quite light for my skin tone, but I did choose the medium skin tone with neutral undertone, which is usually the shade that I get when it comes to foundation and concealer. But this would be a better shade for under eye, and so I will just use this under my eye, few dots, and then it says pat out using your finger or a sponge. So let me use my sponge because that's how I usually do my concealer, with a sponge. That's how it looks like. It did brighten up my under eye. As you can see, this is the side with the concealer, this is the side without the concealer. It is a very matte concealer and it dries up easily, so you have to be very quick, and a little goes a long way. Then I will just be using this to highlight the areas that I wanted to highlight, just like this. The coverage is really good, but I don't think that shade is the perfect match for me, especially for spot concealing, because as you can see, all these spots I wanted to conceal. So I'll be using a different concealer, and I'll be using, of course, my Tarte Shape Tape to spot conceal, and then I will get back to you. Now I'll be setting my under eye using the HD Under Eye Setting Powder in the shade Sheer. I haven't tried this before, so yep, I didn't expect it to be this tiny. And let's see. Yep, it's really tiny, teeny tiny. Just to make sure that there's no creasing. Just blew off all the powder. So just to make sure that there's no creasing, let's tap, tap, tap. Get some product and just tap. And I will be using the small tapered brush by e.l.f. just to swipe off some excess powder. And now just to set my whole face, I'll be using the HD powder. I'm not really sure what this is called, but it's the bigger version, and this is for the whole face, and this is in the shade Sheer as well. The same finely milled, very soft, and yeah, I just love this, and I've been using this powder and I'll be applying this all over my face. It doesn't add any coverage. It's really good. And that's it. I'm loving my skin and how it looks like. So let's now proceed with the eyebrows. So with the eyebrows, I've got a brow pencil here. This is in the shade Neutral Brown. So it's a slim mechanical pencil. Shapes, defines, and fills in brows for a natural polished look. So let's do these brows. So first, I'm gonna outline my brows. This is a really good shade. And then fill in my brows and brush. And then on the front bit, I'll be doing upward strokes to mimic the brow hairs. So that's it. And then I'll just be doing the same thing on the other brow, and then I will be right back. Really love that brow pencil. It is pigmented, but it's not waxy, and it is not creamy as well. So it is really easy to manipulate, really easy to apply, and yeah, it's the perfect shade as well for my dark hair. So with the eye, I don't really have a new palette to try, but I've got this Prism eyeshadow right here, and this is a very shimmery shadow, and it has this beautiful shades of pink and a pop of yellow. And then I've also got this little set right here, which I've got for free, and I've got this e.l.f. eyeshadow C brush, and then I've got this baked eyeshadow palette. Ooh, they're baked eyeshadow, they're shimmery as well. All of them are shimmery, and it has a massive mirror which looks really nice. And here how the shadow looks like. So to prime my eyes, I don't have eyeshadow primer, so I'll just be using the e.l.f. Camo concealer, and I'll be priming my eyelids with this. Because I don't have a matte eyeshadow for my crease, I'll be using this e.l.f. Total Face palette. Looks like this, and I've been using this already, and I love it. I love the packaging. It looks expensive, but it's not. Believe me when I say e.l.f. is not very expensive, and this is a really good palette. It has this contour shade, and then 2 blushes, and then this highlighter. So I'll be using the contour shade just on my crease, and I'll be using the e.l.f. blending brush. And then since I don't have any matte eyeshadow, I'll just be using this. This is in the shade California, and it has 10 pigment rich baked eyeshadow shades, and it can be used wet or dry for subtle or vibrant effect. And I wanted to try this purple shade right here. It's not very pigmented, just a subtle shade, so we'll see. So I'll be using a crease brush, and I will be using this purple shade right here. It's not very pigmented. Yeah, e.l.f. eyeshadow palettes can be hit or miss, but they've recently launched a lot of eyeshadow palettes that are really good, which I haven't tried and I don't have at the moment, so I will just be using this. So I think I might just wet my brush, and I'll be using the Aqua Mist, Primer Mist, just to wet my brush. So we'll see if this will help bring out some shade. So into the Prism eyeshadow, I'll be dipping into this lighter pink shade, and I'll be using this sponge applicator. If I'll use my finger, we'll see. Oh, that's a lot better. I really wanted to use this yellow gold shadow, so I'll be using a flat brush, and I'll be using this just under my eye. I thought it would be a pop of yellow, but it's not, so let's try and wet the brush again. It's really subtle yellow, not the pop of yellow that I really wanted it to be, because it's really golden yellow in here, but that's good. And then for the eyeliner, I don't usually do eyeliner, but I've got two eyeliner. I've got one felt waterproof eyeliner pen in a shade Coffee, and then I've got this little eyeliner dip thing. This is in a shade Coffee as well, so I think I'll just be using this because this one is already open. I did a very thin eyeliner. I don't really think that you can see it because I've got hooded eyes. That's why I don't really do eyeliners, but that's the best that I can. So now let's finish off the face. So I'll be using the e.l.f. Total Face palette, and I'll be using the contour shade to contour my face. This shade, it's not cool tone, it's not warm tone, and it is matte shade. It does remind me of the Hoola bronzer, which I really love. Then I'll be applying this all over the perimeters of my face, onto my nose. And then for my blush, I'll be mixing both shade, and that's it for the blush. And then this has got highlighter as well, so you can see it's a really good highlighter. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a really good subtle highlighter. But I've got the new baked highlighter, and this is in a shade Blush Gem, so I'll be using this little e.l.f. powder brush, and it is a very subtle highlighter, but it's dry, and it does emphasize a little bit of texture, and yeah, it needs building up, and you need to like swirl the brush around just to get that highlight. So let's try the highlighter from the palette. I think this one is a bit better. This is so much better. I really love this palette. I wanted to add a bit of bronzer, so I'll be using the Sunkissed Glow Bronzer. So just to add more bronzer and more glowiness. And I'll be just swirling this around the bronzer. I'll be applying this onto the perimeters of my face. Yeah, look at that glow. And then just to finish off my eye look, I'll be using the lightest shade in here onto the inner corners of my eyes. And I'll be using this e.l.f. eye crease brush. And then onto my brow bones. And I think that's it. I'm loving it. And now just to finish off my complexion and my skin, I will be using the new e.l.f. Dewy Setting Mist. Coconut, and this is a coconut infused makeup setting mist that leaves a dewy finish. And it says here it will give your makeup a lasting dewy finish. It is infused with coconut to help hydrate and condition the skin. So let's do this. It does smell like coconut, just a little bit, and ooh, look at that. I love the glow. However, the mist is really in your face, like very harsh. So let's just wait for that to dry. Let's use the sponge. That is a really good mist. I'm really loving that mist, and I love it. I love it. And now let us finish off this look. I don't really have a mascara to use, but I've got this clear brow and lash mascara. So it does says here eyelash, and then on this side is eyebrow. So let's use the eyelash first. I've never used a clear mascara before, so I don't really know what would this do. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. Doesn't give volume, it doesn't give length, and I didn't expect much from it because it's clear. But yeah, I just hope it will keep the lashes curled. So yep. And then let's do the brows. I don't really think there's a difference, not even with the brush. I don't know. Just brush through the brows. That's it with the eyes, and now let's proceed with the lips. I do have so many lip products because I've got this for free as well. And I've got, what do we have in here? Oh, another lip exfoliator. This time it's in a sweet cherry. So I might just be putting this on a giveaway box. And then I've got a velvet matte lipstick in a shade ruby red. I don't think this look needs a red lipstick, so I'll just keep that. And then I've got a lip lacquer, and it's clear lip lacquer. Here I've got a lipstick, nicely nude. It doesn't say anything, but it's this kind of pinky kind of shade. I think I would be using this. And I've got this moisturizing lipstick. This is in a shade in the nude. This is more brownie kind of shade. And then I've got lip liner. This is in a shade nude pink, so I'll be using the lip liner. It has a lip liner on one end and a little blending brush on the other end. So let's try this. I'll be lining my lips with this one. It's not creamy. I love my lip liner to be creamy. Oh! 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 It broke down. Oh my goodness. It's not a good lip pencil. So I'm gonna stop there. Stop right there. Let's just go right in through the nicely nude lip. And this one is a pink lip as well. I will make it a little bit darker, and I'll be using the moisturizing lipstick in a shade in the nude. Let's try this one. Don't really think it made a difference, but this is definitely moisturizing. Then I'll be using a shimmer lip gloss. This is in a shade Believe, and this is like a shimmery brown kind of shade. So we'll see if it will add a little bit of shade on my lips, because this looks like I'm just pale. So on the tube, this gloss looks very shimmery, but on the lips, it just looks so glossy. And yep, it didn't add any more shade onto my lips, but it did add that glossiness. And I like it. So yep, I think that's it with this makeup look. I really love how my skin turned out. It looks so healthy and glowy and dewy but not oily. And I love the Camo concealer. It's really good. It did brighten up my under eyes. I just need a darker shade for my blemishes, and yeah, I really love it. And I love the dewy setting spray. I love the aqua mist. I think all of the face products did a really good job, and it made my skin look so healthy, and that's how I really wanted it to be. The only thing that I didn't really like about all these makeup products that I've used are the eyeshadows. They're not really pigmented, and yeah, I didn't really enjoy using them. I think I need a new mascara as well. The mascara didn't help really. And I love the brows. I love the skin. I just love how the skin looks like, and just really happy that my skin looks healthy and glowy. And yep, that's it with this full face of makeup using e.l.f. Cosmetics. I'm really loving it. I love it, and I hope you love it too. If you did, please do give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And may your day be as flawless as your makeup today. See you on my next video. Bye. Thank you for watching.